was a rainy autumn evening in the small town of Willow Creek, where people often spoke of unity but rarely acted upon it when it mattered. 12-year-old Jamal Carter, a kind-hearted black boy with a spirit far older than his years, was hurrying home after spending the afternoon at the community library. His backpack weighed down with books he loved to read under the old oak tree in his backyard. The storm clouds loomed overhead, the wind howling through the narrow streets as the first drops of rain began to fall. Jamal quickened his pace, his sneakers slapping against the wet pavement, when suddenly, a loud screech of tires pierced the air, followed by a deafening crash. Without thinking, Jamal sprinted towards the source of the noise, his heart pounding in his chest. There, at the intersection of Maple and 3rd, a police cruiser lay crumpled against a lamppost, smoke curling from its hood. Inside, slumped over the steering wheel, was Officer Ryan Mitchell, a respected member of the town's police force, known for his fair judgment and kind demeanor. Blood trickled down Ryan's temple, and his eyes fluttered shut as he struggled to stay conscious. Jamal didn't hesitate. Ignoring the fear clawing at his mind, he yanked open the driver's door, unbuckled the officer's seatbelt, and with strength fueled by adrenaline and determination, dragged the injured man out of the wreckage. Just as flames began to lick at the car's engine, "Hang on, sir, I got you," Jamal whispered, his voice shaking but resolute. He laid Officer Ryan gently on the wet grass and checked for a pulse, his small hands trembling as he remembered the first aid videos he had seen at school. The man was alive, but fading fast. Jamal pulled out his old flip phone. The screen cracked from a previous fall, and dialed 911. His voice was frantic as he explained what had happened, begging for help to come quickly. Within minutes, sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder as emergency vehicles arrived at the scene. But as the paramedics rushed to tend to Ryan and firefighters doused the burning vehicle, a group of officers approached Jamal, their expressions hard and suspicious. Before Jamal could explain, one of them grabbed him roughly by the arm, yanking him away from the injured man he had just saved. "What did you do, kid? Did you cause this accident?" one officer barked, his voice dripping with accusation. Jamal's eyes widened in shock. No, sir. I was just walking home. I saw the crash. I pulled him out, I swear." But his words fell on deaf ears. Another officer cuffed his small wrists, the cold metal biting into his skin as tears welled. In his eyes, bystanders began to gather, their murmurs filling the air as the scene unfolded. Some shook their heads, others pulled out their phones to record, capturing the heartbreaking sight of a brave boy being treated like a criminal. Jamal's heart sank as he was pushed into the back of a police car, the very people he had always been taught to trust, now looking at him as if he were the villain. From the window, he saw Officer Ryan being loaded onto a stretcher, his eyes briefly meeting Jamal's before closing again. Jamal hoped, prayed, that when Ryan woke, he would tell them the truth. But as the car pulled away, the weight of injustice settled heavy on Jamal's small shoulders, and he wondered if anyone would ever believe him. At the station, Jamal was questioned harshly, accused of stealing the police cruiser, of causing the accident, of trying to hurt an officer. No matter how many times he repeated the truth, they wouldn't listen. He was just a scared kid trying to do the right thing, now trapped in a nightmare he couldn't escape. News of the arrest spread quickly through Willow Creek. Some residents were outraged, knowing Jamal and his family as good people, while others were quick to believe the worst. The town became divided, tensions rising with every passing hour. And as night fell, Jamal sat alone in a cold cell, staring at the concrete wall, wondering what would happen next. Would Officer Ryan survive? Would the truth come out? Or would he be forever branded as something he was not? If you're moved by Jamal's courage, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss what happens next, because the story is far from over, and what follows will truly shock you. The night felt endless for Jamal as he huddled in the corner of the cell, the cold seeping into his bones. He thought about his mother, who by now must have been frantic, wondering why he hadn't come home. He thought about his little sister, Mia, who always waited at the window for him, excited to see what new book he had borrowed. And most of all, he thought about Officer Ryan, hoping with all his heart that the man would pull through and tell everyone the truth. As dawn broke, casting pale light through the barred window, the station phone rang. The officer on duty answered, his expression changing as he listened. He glanced at Jamal, then hung up and approached the cell. "Kid, looks like you're lucky. The officer you supposedly hurt just woke up, and he's asking for you." Jamal's heart leaped, a flicker of hope piercing through his fear. Minutes later, he was escorted to the hospital under heavy guard. The halls smelled of antiseptic, and the soft beeping of monitors filled the air. In a private room, Officer Ryan lay pale and bandaged, but his eyes were open and alert. When he saw Jamal, his face softened. "That's him," Ryan rasped. "That boy saved my life. Let him go. He's a hero." The officers exchanged stunned glances, and slowly, the cuffs were removed from Jamal's wrists. Tears streamed down the boy's face, relief washing over him like a tidal wave. Ryan beckoned him closer, taking his hand. "Thank you, son. I owe you everything." But the story didn't end there. News of what had happened spread beyond Willow Creek, capturing the attention of media outlets and activists across the state. People were furious at how Jamal had been treated, demanding accountability and change. The mayor issued a formal apology to Jamal and his family, and the police department launched an internal review. Jamal, once seen by many as just another kid from the poor side of town, became a symbol of bravery and injustice overcome. The town came together for a rally in his honor, people of all backgrounds standing side by side to celebrate his courage and call for a better future. Jamal was given awards, scholarships, and most importantly, respect that should have been his from the start. And through it all, he remained humble, focused not on the fame but on spreading a message that doing the right thing matters, no matter the cost, and that change begins with each of us. So if Jamal's story has touched your heart, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share this video, leave a comment, and join us as we continue to bring you real stories of kindness, courage, and hope that can change the world.